Community-based organizations and religious institutions in Motswedi village in the northwest are hosting a men's conference which aims to create awareness about the role of men in dealing with gender-based violence. Refiloe Seboko is standing by to tell us some of the conversations that are being had amongst men, Refiloe Seboko, about GBV in the country.
Well, the official program has not started here in Motswedi village as yet, Dudu, but some of the conversations that will be discussed here, it talks about how men need to talk about the challenges that they are faced with so that they are able to deal better with the social ills. The current economic status of the country is also being highlighted as some of the challenges that is being faced by men, which is likely to contribute to the incidence of gender-based violence in the country. But I'm joined by Ronnie Zondi. He is the former Orlando Pirates player, but also a guest speaker today. Thank you so much and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Let's talk about you being a guest speaker today. You say that during the program you're going to share some of the personal experience in relation to gender-based violence.
Thank you very much and thanks for having me. I thought as when I received the invitation and to make an impact and for this success of this conference, given that I was hospitalized in a mental institution and I have to share my experience with the rest of the men who will be attending the conference based on my own personal experience, because I guess the emphasis here is to make this conference work and possibly take it further than here in Motswedi to other areas as well, and possibly the whole of South Africa. And I hope that my story will resonate with most of the men who are here, that there is help out there to deal with the challenges that we go through as men.
And those challenges being what as men? And that is when you were talking about the political landscape in the country, the economic states, but also issue you touched on mental health. How does it contribute to incidents of gender-based violence?
Well, there are a lot of issues that emanate from the challenge that we are facing as a country, politically, economically, and again, the way we are socialized as men, that we have not yet as begin to talk about those issues, which lead us to have this challenge of mental challenges. And for the fact that men takes quite some time to seek help, and that's also calls for a challenge. But again, as men, I think it's about time where we also need to scrutinize the friendship that we have, because most often than not, we talk about what we want to hear. We don't talk about what we don't want to hear. And a true friendship, it's a friendship that will always also venture into areas that are uncomfortable. And it's about your own personal growth, and we show the other kind of masculinity as men, to talk about issues that we're not comfortable with, and above everything else, to seek help as soon as we can.
You also, a little bit earlier when we were chatting, you're talking about religion and culture, on how it also contributes to the incidence of gender-based violence.
Our culture has not evolved over time, and it still emphasizes on men being the provider, and men being strong, and men being this and that, and which I think, given the current situation, men cannot longer afford to be that strong, because there are a lot of challenges that they go through. And I think culturally we need to change or find a way to accommodate certain things about men. And it's a discussion that possibly it's bigger than me, because we have people who are cultural leaders and who speak on the issues of culture, and possibly those are people who can lead this discussion. And I will hope that sooner than later we'll have that discussion with the leaders in terms of culture. And the other issue again is the issue of religion. Religion lately, it has also changed. It's no longer about us coming to worship together and all these things. Now it's about status of individual within the church itself. I mean, the richer you are, the closer you are to the pastors and the senior members of the church. And then if you don't have money, you are pushed further away from the pastors, and which makes it very difficult for them to can find out at what state you are so that they can be able to help you biblically and otherwise. So those are the challenges that we also need to talk about. I mean, the church as well. I think it also has to evolve again, the same as the culture has to evolve, so that it looks at all the challenges that we have. Because church, as I know it, it's supposed to look after the church members, not a certain members of the church, and it neglects certain members of the church.
Thank you so much for your time. An important discussion to do, particularly as we as the country are currently observing that 16 days of no violence against women and children abuse. Different community-based organizations are here, religious institutions as well. Some of the discussion will include about an issue of raising a boy child and the role of a man in dealing with incidents of gender-based violence.
Refiloe, Seboko, very interesting conversation. Thank you very much for that report.